Generational wounds don't just fade away with time. They actually echo within us, shaping our lives in ways that we might not even realize. Predominantly because most of these wounds are unconscious patterns in our day-to-day lives. Our world aches for healing, and that journey begins within each of us. When you heal, you don't just break old cycles. You create new pathways for peace, individually and collectively. The question is, how do you begin to heal a generation's worth of pain and suffering? Stay with me as we dive into this journey together. Welcome, my lovely souls. I am so grateful to be speaking to you again today. And I want to thank you all for viewing my videos, for doing that thumbs up, subscribing, and hitting that notification button in order to receive the latest of my videos. Today is going to be one of those days where this is not part of the astrology, but maybe the last 2 nights I've just had downloads of information that just not as I'm waking up in the middle of the night and as I'm waking up. And of course, we had the most recent Aries super full moon. So I do know and feel that I'm still under the effects of that. I have been motivated to do this YouTube and to come out and bring my lifetime of knowledge and training out to the world again after a 12-year hiatus from publicly doing this work in order to heal myself from cancer. The information I'm about to share with you is information that I've been speaking about in the most recent video. What I was getting is it's time for me to clarify some of that so that people have a better understanding of when I'm talking about these energies of how to move into the new energies of going inside and generational healing, inner child work, and then what do we need to do to balance the masculine and feminine. So if I can get through all of that in this one video, I will do it. Otherwise, I have a feeling there's going to be some subsequent videos coming out as I'm able and inspired to do them. So please know that first and foremost, any of us that are on the planet at this time have chosen from spirit to be incarnated on the planet to be part of this powerful transformation and ending of one age, the Piscean age, of service and suffering, our separation from Creator. And we are birthing and have been since the 60s, but very slowly and very much more quickly in recent years, moving into this new age, the Aquarian age of balance and peace. And obviously we're not there yet. Pluto is finishing, Pluto, the planet of death, rebirth, major transformation. And he's very powerfully exposing abuses of power, money, and sexuality. His, energies are of absolute transformation. Scorpio energy has like three or four totems, which most of the other signs have one. I'm a Taurus, so it's the bull. But Pluto is everything from the Scorpion, the lower vibration of revenge, and I'm going to sting you to death, and those kinds of things. I use the metaphors of Pluto. Over the course of a couple of years, we'll bring in the 2x4 to wake us up, and hopefully we jump into our transformations or look at what's going on. He'll bring the freight train to knock you over so that you have to, at some point, start to deal with what's going on. And then it's the atom bomb. It's like he'll blow everything up if you don't do the healing transformational work. He represents the Scorpion. He represents the eagle that flies above for, wisdom and courage. But he also represents the phoenix rising from the ashes. So we are in the time of the phoenix rising from the ashes. as we move forward in the last couple of months of Pluto at the very last degree and last minutes of the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn represents the patriarchy, top-down leadership, the oligarchs, the corporations, governments, world governments. This energy has been around for at least 50,000 years, going through the Aries 25,000 year cycle and the Piscean cycle. And this has been a really rough time. Those years, the 50,000 years of oppression of women, oppression of the earth, where the patriarchy has believed, men or male energy has been believing that it is their right to take what they want, and that it is their right to be in charge and have power over. So the energies that are coming in, I am imagining that men are just extremely weary of that role of having to be responsible. And there's enough science at this point in time to expose and to explain that there really is no difference in intelligence and drive and nurturing and caring between men and women. Women's ability to be as equals is now clear and well documented. It's the powers that be that are trying to hold on desperately to the old order that we are going through this last gasp of trying to hold on to control and power and monies and the old order that is happening at this time. So on November 19th, Pluto moves into Aquarius for the next 20 years, and truly fast-paced change, progressive change, and that change involves people's awakening and stepping into their power. But it's also heart-centered. Aquarian energy is about creating balance. It's about exposing the truth of what's going on and moving into the heart. So this is a time of receiving the information for each and every one of us that we are absolutely a spark of the divine, a spark of the cosmos, and that each of us need to be valued and valued for who we are as, fellow human beings and travelers. And the earth is a place of learning and wisdom. And what has been happening on our planet for thousands of years now has negatively impacted the cosmos, our cosmic brothers and sisters and other star systems and what have you. So I can get off on a tangent on that. But what I want to do is to begin the process of explaining how do we do this healing internally, in groups, individually, in groups, in societies. And certainly, while there has been, what is considered metaphysically is that all energies are present on the planet at all times. Just as there are patriarchal societies, there are some matriarchal societies. And those are also out of balance. The more that we can move into a higher wisdom and acceptance that we are all children of the Creator, and that we all need to be seen, heard, loved, respected. It comes down to it's about basic respect. So what I want to do is go into defining what is generational healing and what is going inside. How do we do that? Why is that necessary? I would start out with the Hopi Indian prophecy, and I know that there are other tribes, there are other Native American and Aboriginal tribes on the planet that have held the sacred knowledge, the sacred belief in humans are stewards of the planet, but also that we can and will take personal responsibility, and that this time is the time of returning to who we are and who we really are supposed to be. We are the ones we are waiting for. The Hopi prophecy that I have mentioned a number of times is truly about healing. If we individually do our healing work, then we will begin to heal 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. Very powerful. And as I've been in training since I was 13, informally with my grandmother in Central Texas, that's a whole nother story. But as I've learned about human development, human processes, even as a child and a teenager, I was going, if we can just, someone could just give me the rule book, so I can understand what's right or, what's wrong. I'm happy to be the good girl. This process has been quite eye-opening for me. So another topic I want to address here is, what is this inner child work? And why is it important? And what do we need to do to balance the masculine and feminine inside of each of us? And how do we know when it's out of balance? I'm going to speak from the perspective that it starts with the individual. It starts with me. As I was a student of human development in the 80s and 90s, I also learned that so much of what is going on is unconscious. These are patterns that we pick up in our childhood, from birth, from early childhood. That period of time is healthy and normal, and the child is loved and supported. That child has a chance in the world to be able to see that things are right or wrong and to choose. But for most of us, and I would say pretty much 100%, the old saying used to be 98% of us are dysfunctional. And so it kind of makes the other 2% go crazy because, they have to deal with us. They have to live with us. So that was a saying in my psychotherapy training. And so, if you're here to heal, yourself or to change things, it's not necessarily going to change, but you're going to make friends with the shadow, with the dysfunction, with the pain and suffering, with the family of origin 7 generations back. And if you do your healing work and you share that with your children and your grandchildren, you begin a healing process 7 generations forward. And I have done that in my life. And all we can do as we are sharing this information is to offer the hope, offer the information, and plant the seeds. And I can say there were some seeds that never sprouted. And, I had to lovingly let go. Because again, the only person we can heal is ourselves. So let's start out with talking about the generational healing piece. And in that piece, it's like, I would like to describe the fact that as a world, we are the children. We were born into many different cultures and religions and societies and, lineages. There are none of us. There is no one, and I just want to say this very clearly, on the planet that is perfect, that has completed this particular cycle, no group or society. We are all in it at this time to begin this healing process. And it may take a few years. As you look inside, and I strongly recommend meditation, and meditation on a daily basis. And it doesn't mean, that you just close your eyes and your mind, these will be active meditations. And it's important to do also the quiet meditations at times during the day in order to calm your own nervous system with the energies that are hitting the planet at this time. It's like the meditation that I'm speaking to is like going inside, doing deep breathing, calming yourself, really noticing your breathing as it moves to a natural place, and asking for your guides and angels, guardian angels, ascended masters, family throughout history that are on the other side to be with you as you explore what is going on for you, what is my part, what is it that needs to be healed in me. And oftentimes that process, as you give yourself some time to just really, really relax into the chair or the couch or whatever it is you're doing, to get in touch with your inner child. If you have a picture of that child from your early childhood, 2 years old, 4 years old, I had a picture of myself with these big blue eyes, and I was not happy about something, and my dad decided to snap a picture with me with my fist, sorry, my lips pouted. And so I took the image of that little girl into my mind, into my meditation. And once I was able to be relaxed enough, I was able to go and see her. And as I saw her, I began to ask, I acknowledge, to see her, to say hello, to ask her if it was okay to be there, if she would like to come at some point and sit on my lap. And then as I looked into those big blue eyes, I began to ask her, what can I do? What do I need to know? How can I be of support? How can I love you? How can I bring healing? And the very first time, she reached out to me and just put her arms around my chest and snuggled in, and we were both crying. It was such a huge release. So this is a process of then spending enough time with your inner little boy or girl to help them to understand that you're the adult now, and that you are stepping into responsibility for healing, for taking care of them, for making good choices in your life, for not being in toxic or violent situations, and helping to build up that strength within you. So this is the beginning of compassion and forgiveness for yourself, for your parents, because of the hell that they went through societally, and personally, whatever those were. And the psychotherapy training that I do it is based in non-judgment. It doesn't matter if the memories that come up when you're doing these meditations, it doesn't matter if the memories come up are real or not. You're holding them within your body, within your cells, and they are creating fear. So being able to release them, to talk about this with your child, is a part of being able to release those energies. So this is a more in-depth process of how do you go inside and why. It's really important, because even if you're not doing inner child work, you can be checking in with yourself as the adult. What's important, what's going on, and asking guides, your guides and guardian angels, and any and all souls of the highest light and love on the other side that are there to help you in this transition. And that's a mantra I do every time. I am an open vessel to receive this information, and also as I'm doing these videos, I am an open vessel to share this information. The next thing I want to talk about is, what do we need to do to balance the masculine and feminine, right? Because that's a new and important part of the healing that needs to happen for the whole planet. Women are 51% of the population, and we are long overdue to embrace and love and support and acknowledge women in our lives and in our world. And there is enormous amount of abuse happening globally, particularly in the war zones, as we are watching Israel, the Middle East. We're watching women and children being targeted in mass killings. And these are not the rules of war. So and I would say that the souls that are leaving the planet as a result of this, it is part of their karma, and that they are doing it to help us wake up. They are doing this. They are sacrificing themselves, their children, their families, to wake up humanity to the inhumanity of what's going on so that we will stop this. The violence is the toxic masculine that is like in full view for all of humanity. We know about a lot of male toxicity is about aggression. It's about selfishness. It's about needing to be in control, power control, and that there is an arrogance in parts of the male population. And there are, I'm going to stop and acknowledge, there are many evolved and awake and loving males on the planet that are being hurt by what's happening to women, to families, to children, just as much as are the women. So we can look at the world right now and see what is the toxic masculinity, this entitlement, the sense of I own women. And I was born and raised Texan, and I was a military brat, as we are called, both the state and military. There's a lot of dysfunction in those two areas. We know what the toxic male looks like, but what is needing to be embraced and healed, in a healing process to stop that energy it's that awakening to the fact that we are not seeing, loving, and honoring the women in our lives, that we don't value them. And so there's higher learning going to be happening around, for men in particular, around, whoa, this is not okay. I mean, if we're all divine children of the same creator, where is the respect? And so many men are disheartened and sick of what is going on the planet and of all the suffering. And it's time to, again, look inside to see what part of that has been an advantage for you, even if it's a mistaken sense of, yeah, this is great. It's still not something that we should value. Mars right now, which is very warlike, very male energy, is traveling through Cancer. He's going to dip his toes into the first 2 or 3 degrees of Leo, and then immediately retrograde early December. And he will be retrograde for about 2.5, 3 months. And actually the influence of that will be more like 4 months as after he goes retrograde. Mars in Cancer. Cancer is about the integration of caring about family, caring about security and nurturance of women and children. And so he's kind of being challenged to step up and oppose, in his opposition to Pluto, the planet of death, rebirth, and the status quo, the abuses of power, to challenge those that are in power and say, enough, no more. We are not going to do this. And look at really from an honest perspective what's going on, and that this really does truly need to change. But to integrate those, it is absolutely fine to nurture others for the males. It is fine. It is, in fact, it absolutely opens the heart to be able to also nurture. We also have Saturn, which is karmic. He rules Capricorn energy, and he is our karmic teacher, taskmaster, and our work in the world. But he also, when we do that work, he brings us the greatest rewards. So Saturn has been traveling in Pisces, and Pisces energy really speaks to moving into, to soften this rough exterior, this coldness, and move into more compassion and forgiveness and love and intuition. So the more that men on the planet, and those of us or women that have that out of balance masculine, this is truly the work that we need to do to begin thinking, begin our healing process. The feminine, the toxic feminine, I can very much tell you about. The toxic feminine is as a result of 50,000 years of abuse and repression and denial of our humanness, our intelligence, our abilities, even though we've proven throughout history that we are very capable. And but what happens when you repress a group of people? then the power goes underground. And Kali energy, one of those ways of taking this power in a passive aggressive way or underground is through gossip. And so if you can't fix the situation by being honest, by being in integrity, by speaking your truth and asking that things are righted and you get blown off, what women have done for many, many thousands of years is they can go into, okay, I'm going to get even and I'm going to get what I want by being passive aggressive, by charming, manipulative, by this. These are very scorpionic kind of energies as well. And I want to speak specifically to gossip, because when people are feeling disempowered, they don't feel like they can talk to a person, even when they can. Their default is to go into, okay, I'm gonna, I don't like this person for some reason. I just don't like the feel of this person, or I've heard some gossip, and boy, I'm just going to be part of the collective that goes after this person by destroying their personal reputation, by destroying their professional reputation. And the insidious thing about gossip is that the person really can't fight it, because it's done in secret. It's done behind the scenes, and people will just deny it and smile. So this is very prominent in all societies, pretty much. Some societies more so than others, but it is prevalent in humanity. And this is one of the things that we have to look at as women, and even as men, because there is the sacred male and the sacred female in each of us. So there are men that gossip, and do this behind the scenes. And the way to be in integrity is to go, this thing you said or did just torqued me off, and it really hurt my feelings. And that gives the opportunity for the other person to explain, I was having a really bad day, and I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry that happened. What can I do to make it better? I mean, can we finally, as humanity, grow up and decide to communicate in a non-judgmental way to deal with conflict? I mean, the world is extremely polarized at this time. And so the only way to stabilize us as humanity and to stabilize the planet is to move into non-judgment, being curious like that child within. Children are so curious. They're so playful. They don't necessarily take things personally, but when they do, they're much faster than us adults to say, I'm sorry, I'm missing you. Something hurt you, and was it me? Did I say something or do something to hurt you? So it's not about giving free rein for all of us to wear our feelings on our sleeves and to be the perpetual victims. None of us are victims. I would say, I say that and I'm immediately told, oh wait, children can be victimized. Children, women, we can all be victimized by abusive energies. How we choose to manage that takes us out of the victim and allows us to move into new skills. And those skills are truly about being able to get rid of fear, stop judging everyone, become more the curious child. In any and every situation, we are all different. And we need to celebrate our differences, because that creates a richer and kinder and more interesting and fun and creative world. So moving into checking ourselves when we are in these negative, nitpicky, judgmental, angry, and fearful energies. As soon as we feel that starting to come on, once we go inside and start to work on ourselves, we're not going to be able to jump into those automatic systems, those automatic reactions as quickly as we did. And eventually, we won't jump into them at all. So I have had a dream and vision since I was 13. And that vision has been, and particularly it was even more enhanced in my years of raising my two sons, working with special needs children, being in expanding and learning more about what is developmentally appropriate for children at different ages and stages from birth through death. You know, and it all comes down to basic respect. And if we respect ourselves and we acknowledge that we are all children of the same creator, then it becomes much easier for us to sit in curiosity, to look for solutions together, to say, I am so sorry I hurt you. That was really, it was my old program and it just came out of my mouth. How can I make it up to you? Please forgive me. And then forgive yourself. Because all of us are still operating on old programming. And if ever there's a time, this next few months in particular, to start a program of looking inside, it is now. So I want to thank you. I'm sure I'm going to be moving into more of these kinds of videos to help as the astrological energies are speaking to the transformations, and the planets that are involved are going to give me the insights into topics to cover that are related to how do we heal, how do we move into community, because it's going to take all of us coming together in community, in villages, in nationalities, in tribes. I mean, there is no human on the planet that is not still operating in some of, I mean, there are a few, but those that have been working on this most of their lives, you know, at this point. But we are expanding that community at this time. We are looking for our soul families. We are inviting others to join our soul families and move into this powerful transformational time and moving into this new age. So where do we go from here? Hopefully there's more discussions around this healing process. And how do we heal this? The first step is commit to that individually, within yourself, with your own inner child. So I love you all. I am so blessed and grateful to be sharing this information with you. And please, you know, again, check out my website at catherineastrology.com. There's going to be more videos there and more information around the work that I do. I really appreciate your being here, and please don't forget to click on the buttons, the comment, and to also absolutely use the comment. And we do, I do have a small team, and we are making sure we answer your questions in the comment section. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I really just remember that this is a time for us all to keep the faith, and that I offer astrological information for hope and healing. Thank you.